Astrology, horoscopes, birth charts. What do all these mean? Welcome to EllAstrology, and today I'm going to explain all of these to you. Oftentimes when I meet people, I find that they do not know that much about astrology, and especially the terms that go associated with it and all the different forms of astrology. Most of them only know what their sun sign is, and that's not very bad to know, but however, it goes into a lot more detail than that. And a lot of people also have a very warped perception on what astrology actually means. Astrology is a very big pie, and most people understand it as horoscopes, which is actually a very, very small part of this pie. Usually when you say astrology, a person will refer to their sun sign and say, for example, oh, I am a Virgo or I am a Libra. However, astrology is quite vast and it covers a whole bunch of different things. So the first and most common thing that people associate astrology with is horoscopes. That would be the little section under astrology that you read in a magazine or a newspaper that basically deals with your sun sign and just gives you a little interpretation of what your day might be like. Most people, when I mention astrology to them, they have this association with horoscopes and they say, oh, my sun sign is this, and I read my horoscope every week or so. However, this is a very, very small portion of astrology, and it's not a very accurate representation of what astrology really is. Horoscopes are basically derived from a form of astrology which is called transit astrology. So this is where the planets that you were born into and the signs you were born into, they move along in the zodiac and in our constellation as your life progresses. Now, the problem with horoscopes is that it's not very specific to the individual, and it is more generalized to a sign as a whole. So a horoscope is more of a mass influence over the entire world with that sign, whereas it does not really cover your individual drive and what actually will happen to you individually from a day-to-day basis. The most accurate way to look into horoscopes is to actually look into transit astrology, and the best way to get into transit astrology is to know your own natal chart and all the signs associated with that. However, this is quite complicated, and I will be covering this on a whole nother series once I've covered a series on natal astrology and all the signs and the energy that gets associated with that. Sun signs. Another common form of association with astrology most people have is their sun sign. Most people you will meet will know what their sun sign is. Your sun sign is basically the zodiac that the sun was set in when you were born. However, only knowing your sun sign is a very, very small part of understanding your whole existence. In my opinion, birth charts is where it all is. Birth charts is the key. It is what you need to know to understanding everything that drives you. I see birth charts as a blueprint for your consciousness, but instead of walls and doors and windows, you use planets and houses and signs to map it out. To make you understand how small of an aspect your sun sign is in your birth chart is to bear in mind that your birth chart has about 50 aspects on average. Your sun sign and the sign that your sun was in when you were born is about 1 out of 50 of these aspects. So knowing your sun sign is quite important, as it is a very important energy that rules you. However, like I said, there are about 50 other aspects that rule you, and there's so much more that you can find out, and there is so much more of a bigger picture than what your sun sign is. Another very interesting thing to bear in mind is that each and every person's birth chart is as unique as their fingerprints. Unless you, however, have a twin, or there was another person born exactly in the same place on exactly the same time as you. However, odds are very unlikely. However, it has happened before that people do have the same birth charts. but it makes it very, very interesting because your birth chart is unique to you and your birth chart shapes you and nobody else. And once you've gotten into birth charts and you start understanding how to read them, you can actually start seeing how each and every birth chart is unique and how each and every person manifests their energy through their birth chart. Another part of birth charts is another avenues of it where you get things like transit astrology and synastry astrology, and that is when you actually take two people's birth charts and you mash them together and you see how they act together and how their relationships interact. You also get composite charts. Birth charts really go deep, and like I said, I'll definitely be covering these in my other videos as it will take quite a bit of explanation going into detail over this now. So thank you for watching my explanations on astrology, horoscopes, and birth charts. I will definitely be covering these topics in my future videos, so definitely keep an eye out for them. Definitely hit that subscribe button and that like button, and if you have anything to add about what horoscopes, astrology, and birth charts represent and what they mean, definitely let me know in the comments and we can maybe make another video about that. I really hope this video helps to clear things up for you guys a little bit more. See you guys next time.